Everyone here. Thank you all for showing up in whatever form you've shown up, in person or online. Appreciate it. My name is Lee Cruz. I'm a resident of Fairhaven and the chair of the Fairhaven Community Management Team. So we're going to get started with some of the basics. We always like to remind people that we have house rules. So our house rules are: we want to stay focused and do no fault problem solving. We ask people that normally would step up and be talkative as I am to maybe step back a little bit, and people who normally don't, just step forward a little bit if you want to say something. We're going to be action oriented. We're going to listen with open minds and stay Fairhaven focused. And this is a collaboration, so we're going to get started right now. So the agenda, every agenda always has the same web link. So if you know someone who should be here, who would want to be here and can't come here freely, you can send them the link that's on here or tell them to look at any agenda, and it'll always have the link. Don't need to say this to people online, they already know that. Okay, should we start recording?
It already is recording.
Okay, excellent.
Already started. Yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay, with those things out of the way, then if you're online, please mute your mics and use the chat box unless we call on you, or if you're trying to get our attention and we don't call on you, then you can turn it on and call our attention to our lack of paying attention. Let's call the meeting to order with a roll call of the board.
Jamil? Here.
Jamil is here somewhere.
Yes, I'm here.
Anna?
Haven't seen Anna yet.
No, she's here. She just got here. She might be taking a sec.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Adam?
Here.
Lee?
Present.
And Christina, I'm president.
Okay, wonderful. So we have the full board, mainly online, and a couple of board members did just give us notice that they're under the weather a little bit, so they're online. Introductions, if you're online, please just tell us your name and what street you're from. If you're from Fairhaven, if you represent a nonprofit or a city office, your name and whatever your relationship is, a business, a nonprofit, city government, you're welcome to do any of those. Okay, have we established quorum?
Yes, we have.
Okay, we have a motion from a member to accept the minutes of the last meeting. Remember? Okay, we have a
Motion to accept the minutes.
motion, second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. I hope everybody's had a chance to read the minutes. We don't need to vote unless is there anyone that has anything that needs to be changed from the minutes? No? Anyone online, anything changed from the minutes last month? Then we are good to go on the minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are moving on now to the financial report from our relatively new treasurer, Jamil, and just come on and tell us what you know.
Hey everyone. Hope everybody is having a good day. So for the month of February, we didn't have any transaction. Right now the balance is still $4,560.30. There's still the ongoing issue of the double charge of the Zoom. I tried calling them, but because I didn't have the login information, but our vice chair said that he'll reach out. I did notice, and this might have been discussed before, that there was a provisional credit for that amount for like some sort of dispute, and it looks like this double charge is the reversal of one of those credit, but I'm sure we'll be able to sort that out. But outside of that, that's it. And I move to approve the minutes. Sorry, to approve the financial report.
Okay.
Second.
if I remember correctly, we actually don't approve, it's just rendered. Is that correct, Adam? We don't.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got an opportunity to ask Jamil some questions if they have them, but if not, it's just a report.
Yeah, okay, so, any questions online, any questions in the room? I am gonna take the opportunity, as I try to every month, to remind people, we're entirely funded by ourselves. And, so if you would like to, lead the way, as I have, and several people in the room, by making a donation of any amount, you can, make it to us, through, Jamil. And then we can go from there. But all the money that we take in basically goes to pay for Zoom, so we can have this service, and we also donate to the work of various people from our community. One of the major things that we fund is the Thanksgiving Day meal, a lunch for elderly people in our community, but occasionally an opportunity will come up to help with a mural or help with gardens or something like that. That's all that the money goes for. No one is being paid to be here to manage anything or anything like that. All that is done voluntarily. So please be aware of that. And I thank you in advance for any contribution that you make. Okay, on in our agenda, we are now at the New Haven Police Department. We're very fortunate to have not only our sergeant here, but also the chief. We're gonna ask all the police to come up. Here's the thought, I want people at home to see you, so if you guys sit right there, and whoever's talking, if you sit on this side over here, the people that are talking, then what that gives is an opportunity for you, so you'll have audience to the left of you and audience to the right of you, and we can see you. I'm gonna put you on in the room large, so if, don't feel you need to talk to people over there, because they're gonna be looking at you on the screen in just a second here.
It's at the bottom.
That, okay, so you can see them up there, and, go ahead.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody. Good evening on Zoom. I'm Sergeant Alvarado, the district manager, obviously. I am going to get to my report, but I do want to introduce the Community Support Task Force, Officers Eric Lopez and Tanisha Barrios. I know we talked about it in the management team in the past. They are the ones steering the ship for the city of New Haven, not just Fairhaven, but obviously there's a strong focus in Fairhaven, and obviously Chief Zanelli is here to greet us as well. Before I just get on, because I know we gotta have a lot of questions, I'm just gonna go over the report real quick, because I know there's some questions on this, and then I'll leave it to this, and I'll go to you, Chief. So for the month of February, right? Yep. We did have a couple people shooting incidents. 281 Chapel Street, which was an illegal after hour spot. 2 people were shot. We do have an active arrest warrant. Came to schools too much until it's official, but it's being taken care of, and it was an isolated incident. Nobody, no issues to the rest of the public. And we're aware of everything that's going on. We actually went over with zoning, the building department, the fire marshal's office, all helped a hand in trying to get that establishment shut down, the portion of the hall that they were renting out, which was successful. And the other one was the other day, the 28th, 26 grand, unfortunate incident inside of El Coqui restaurant, where 2 people were shot, and there was 3 people involved. It looks like we did arrest 1 person already. 2 will be forthcoming with warrants. We did recover guns. Again, that was an isolated incident. Myself and Alder Magda did a canvass on Monday, checked on the local businesses. It was a lot. It was disturbing. It was a lot, but thankful for the police response and the community response to help out and gather everything. It was very instrumental in the process there. And then other than that, we did have 2 robberies, 11 larceny from vehicles, where we keep getting hit with that. We arrested somebody on a package theft that does not show up on my stats because it's a package theft. We're pretty confident he's our number 1 culprit. We just got to build more evidence towards him. So we're on to him. He's very well known to all of Fairhaven officers, so we'll keep an eye on him at all times. He is a homeless individual, that's creating a lot of terror, user and the like. Before I give it up to them, do I have any questions for me on the report? Robbie?
A couple, just, is that the club about Popular and Chapel, that one there?
No, which one? No, this was 281 Chapel was the one.
No, that after hour thing.
The after hours 281 Chapel, that was all the way by Mill Street, going towards across from Chris Park.
Do you know what's going on at that Chapel and Popular building?
Chapel and Pop, no, so that's
It's
the,
loaded with cars, I mean, we were trying to get in.
You talking about
That's the soccer. That's
yeah, the soccer, that's the dead end
Oh,
of
okay,
Popular.
we were trying to
River,
get, we were
River and
trying,
Popular.
River, yeah, we were
yeah,
trying to get in there the other night. We couldn't
Try
get in.
one person at a time speaking, because it's hard for, you understand.
Yeah, we were.
And Robbie, if you would stand up a little bit, because the mic is up here, I want people at home to hear you.
We were
Thank you.
wondering the other night, cause we were doing snow
Yeah.
removal, and we couldn't get in the lots there.
Yeah.
The cars were massive.
Yeah, the dead end of Poplar is, that's the soccer.
Oh, it's a soccer club. Okay, the other thing I noticed a lot, around the streets, a lot of broken windows lately, huh?
Yeah, that's the larceny from, I think it's this gentleman that
You got
we're
something in
eyeing.
mind? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Other than that, everything's looking good.
I appreciate it. Thanks for Public Works too, it's been not an easy job. For once, I think they were more mad at the Public Works than they were at the police.
Got a question online from Alderman Ensign, go ahead. Frankie?
Yeah, not a question, just a comment.
Oh,
Just want to say how grateful we are for Sergeant Alvarado, and that the changes in the neighborhood are noticeable. Also, just want to commend him for the prep work that's been going on to get ready for spring. Make sure our hotspots don't flare back up. And also just want to send a vote of confidence out there for Chief Zanelli as well. We love Chief Zanelli in Fairhaven. It's good to see you in town, buddy.
Thank you.
That's it.
Good to be back home.
okay. Any other questions in the room? Any questions in the room? I don't see anybody. Any other questions online? Let me just unpin, the pin here. I mean, I don't see.
I see none online.
None online, okay.
So I'll give it to
Chief.
officers,
the
I'm just gonna
officers
give it to
first.
Barrios and Lopez if you wanna say a word and
Okay.
just let them know what you do and how you're helping out Fairhaven.
So I'm Officer Lopez, this is Officer Barrios. So her and I were part of the Community Support Task Force. So we're a new unit that formed in November. We primarily focus on people suffering from substance abuse, homeless individuals, and the issues around that within the community all throughout New Haven. We are citywide. We do a lot of focus on New Haven because we all know there's a large community here in here in Fairhaven that suffer from these issues. So we also try to provide these people with help as well when possible. When we're unable to, and if necessary, we do take enforcement action. You will see us out here in Fairhaven if you haven't already. So we just wanted to come, make ourselves known, and introduce ourselves. And if you guys have any questions, please.
So just to piggyback off of him, we also deal with a lot of individuals with mental health issues. We do a lot of outreach work. We collaborate with Compass and also the Department of the Health Department. We often do. We come out 2 times a week, so you'll see us here and other parts of New Haven doing outreach work. We try to get people in touch with services, whether it's housing, whether it's for some sort of detox or rehab, or just getting them into desk, the rest program, whether it's trying to get them food, get them in touch with the food banks. So you'll see us quite often. We're here every day, different times. We don't have set times where we're here in Fairhaven, but you'll see us, throughout the day and throughout the weeks, you'll see us.
And the hotspots throughout the city and here in Fairhaven that are often brought up, those are the spots that we often focus on. So we are one of the big parts of the police department that address the issues of hotspots within the community.
Would it be just you two, or are there gonna be other officers as well?
So as of now, it's just her and I.
Okay.
Anything else we'll have to see in the future, but for now, it's just her and I.
So who notifies you that there's homeless or mental ill, and how do you contact
So we have, we are included in, many meetings throughout the week. Every week we have hotspot meetings, we have encampment meetings, everyone comes together in the city, and then we talk about these areas throughout the different districts, and then from there, we handle it. When there are encampment, there's something that we have, the VOG program, or wherever, VOC, where we're able to just tag it in there, and then we talk amongst the different organizations, so that we can figure out how we're gonna handle it or go about it, as well as getting the regular calls from patrols. Sometimes those get forwarded to us, and Sergeant Alvarado is very good about relaying information to us, so.
But we generally operate in a proactive capacity, whereas when we know what are the areas that are problematic, that's where we address, that's where we target, that's where we canvass around throughout the day. And when we see problems that need to be addressed, that's when we handle it.
Question in the back, Val?
Hi, my name is Rafael Fuentes. You mentioned Compass. About a month ago, I had a meeting with Carlos from Compass. And one of the issues that we were seeing, because I'm a longtime resident in Fairhaven, and Compass, I've only seen their vehicles like twice. And my deal is I drive around the whole neighborhood, do the C-click fix stuff. One of the issues we saw with Compass was that they, like you guys are, proactive. What happens, like, are you guys working the different hours? Because my question to them was 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning is when we have these issues, like down Ferry Street with from every, people from all walks of life. I don't want to pinpoint, from people with mental health, people with addiction, some of the people doing some of the nefarious things. And his response was that it's too dangerous for them. What are the hours that you guys are gonna be out there? Like,
So
is it gonna be a cutoff like Compass, or, so I know you work in conjunction, but are you gonna pick up where Compass is afraid to go out there at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5? Because that's when we have these people out there.
So very true, we do have those people out there, but we also have to also work within the scope to where we have certain things available for them, certain resources, which a lot of times for Compass, for them, their resources are, during a certain hour. For us, we'll be flexing our schedule. Right now, we work a certain set hours, but we flex throughout the week. A lot of times we will stay later in the day, so. We'll try to tackle those as they come about, and see where the need is, and then from there, then we'll get.
That's where we see from like 4 o'clock in the morning to around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, all along the Ferry Street corridor, River Street, Poplar Street. That's where we see it at. And I totally understand that Compass works within a certain hours, but that's why I figured, I know how your team works, because we spoke about it in other meetings with hotspots and all that. But I was just wondering if that's something that you guys are gonna look into at those hours. Obviously, you can't call Compass at 4 in the morning,
Right.
but maybe direct them that, hey, at 9 o'clock in the morning, you could come contact these people, I think that's something.
We could talk
Yeah,
about
that's
flexing the shift to come in,
Yeah.
and I mean, they're clearly not gonna be afraid of it.
Yeah, no, I know that, that's why I'm saying, I know Compass is different,
Yeah, it's different, but no, absolutely, there is a spot on Lloyd Street,
Yeah.
and River, so that is something we could talk about.
In the interest of time, I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Ralph has a lot of knowledge. Definitely, you guys should be talking. There's a couple of points that came up that I want to ask the sergeant to address, at least one.
Yes.
But when I asked the two officers, if you could turn and look this way, then people at home can see your faces. They kind of saw yours, but they didn't see you. Just so that so people at home can see you. And an observation was made, if you would comment, can the police, Rebecca asked, can the police stop the drug sales and prostitution at the corner of Chapel and Ferry? Can you say a little bit about what what's going on with that area there?
Yeah, so Chapel and Ferry is very, very well known to us. I'm sure these officers it's also well known to them. That all stemmed from Chapel and, Ferry and Pierpont, where the store there was a lot of prostitution there. That store's closed down. And it's been a lot better on Ferry Street because of that. But because of that known spot, they kind of congregated more to Chapel and Ferry. So we're on it, we're working on it. we've made some arrests. Actually, the individual I was talking about with the stolen package, that I think he's responsible for, we arrested him right there at Chapel and Ferry. And so it's an ongoing effort, but we're completely on top of it. It's one of our high priorities.
Can you quickly say something about the meeting that you have with the alders, where you're looking at all the individual places?
Yeah, so every other, twice a month, every other week, we meet with the alders and other city departments, which is extremely beneficial, having the other city departments there as well. And we talk about hotspots, and we talk about what issues we have in the area, and we tackle it. So we have a fancy spreadsheet, thanks to Sarah and the intern from Yale, which is doing a phenomenal job. And we keep up with it, and we hold each other accountable. So like if it's said that we're gonna do something, the next meeting, we address whether it was done or not. So it's a very good accountability and good for everybody to know what's going on.
So I'll just remind everybody online and in the room that in addition to C-Click-Fix, in addition to calling the non-emergency number, the 203-946-6316, you can tell I call it all the time because I have it memorized. Now, you can tell your alder who's going to a meeting twice a month with a variety of police, not just the police, all the departments pretty much are represented. So you have 3 different ways: political, directly to the department, and then through C-Click-Fix. So the number for C-Click-Fix, if it's not on the agenda, I don't think we put it on the agenda, Christine, like we should probably add C-Click-Fix, not the number, but the website.
Yeah, we put the website on all the time.
Okay, excellent.
It's in every minute almost.
Okay, excellent. So every meeting, there's also a phone number for Sarge on every agenda. So you pick up an agenda, you have his number. Always gonna remind you, text, don't call, he's busy, and then he'll get back to you, okay?
And then after that, lastly, I just
I'm
want to.
gonna pass it over to the chief.
Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Dave Zelling, the acting chief right now, but I'm proudly a former district manager here in Fairhaven. It's good to see some friends from back in the day, and it's good to make some new friends as well. I just basically wanted to come here to support Sergeant Alvarado. He's doing an excellent job, and the officers here, and also hear from the community on some of the concerns you have. I know that the shooting at El Coquí came up, right? There were 2 shootings in Fairhaven. It is true that we do have an arrest warrant for the one that happened at 281 Chapel Street, and I can report that an arrest has been made this evening just before I got here on the shooting at El Coquí. So one is solved, we're pursuing that individual, and the other one's in custody right now. And a lot of that is because the community's talking to us more, our technology, our partnerships. So I thank you. I'm here to just listen. I'm here to say hello. And I just want to give a round of applause to our Community Response Task Force. They work extremely hard. And one of the things I want to consider doing moving forward is actually expanding the unit. I've had some conversations with Yale Police to hopefully get some contributions for them in time to expand it because they're extremely popular. This is the first time we've done it, and these officers have really taken the ball and run with it. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to stick around for a little while, and I appreciate you having me tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay, while they're getting back to their seats, I want to point out that it was pointed out in the notes there that the last 2 Thursdays of the month, there's food at the church on the corner of Chapel and Lloyd, and it's in the basement and open 10 to 12, the last 2 Thursdays of the month. The more people who are on the street who just need services that we can address their needs, the fewer people there are, the more the police can focus in on people who are there for whatever bad reasons there are. The majority of people, they just have needs, and if we can get those addressed, then maybe we can reduce that population a little bit. Any final thoughts or questions from anyone online? Before we move on, we're going to be looking now for Magali from Livable City. Magali, are you with us? She's not in the room. Oh, I'm surprised that she's not here. Like, did anyone hear from the executive team that she wasn't going to be here? Oh. So Magali is our LCI representative. She's normally here. She's been super responsive. On the agenda, you will find her name. You will find her phone number. If there's a quality of life issue, from trash to someone, doing a business out of their house, whatever, anything like that, Magali is your person. This is the quality of life issues that are not directly crime, but can be addressed in some cases through fines. So look her up on the agenda and reach out to her if something is bothering you and you want to figure out what to do about it. Okay, moving right along, I was told that we would be joined this evening by someone from the Economic Development Department, perhaps Mike Piscitelli or Carlos? Oh, not perhaps, there he is. Come forward, please. I didn't notice you come in. If you would be so kind as to stand or sit over there, then people can kind of see you profile. Great, thank you. Thank you for coming, Mike. Michael Piscitelli, for those of you who don't know, is the head of economic development for the city of New Haven.
Good evening, everyone. Apologize for those I have not yet met. My name is Michael Piscitelli. I'm the Economic Development Administrator for the city. Carlos Ezagara, you may know more regularly, may be able to join us as well. Just wanted to stop by tonight, first of all, to also express our gratitude to the police department concerning the incident at Elko Key. As you know, we've got an incredible investment and partnership on Grand Avenue. That is the Grand Avenue streetscape, the beautification project that we're working on, supporting the Grand Avenue Special Services District, generally the small business environment that makes New Haven such a great place to live and this neighborhood really, really special. You're probably, those of you in this neighborhood lived here a long time, grew up here, or are new, know the power plant that's just up the street, right? So technically that power plant is in the Mill River District, but I think all of us would collectively agree it's felt to be part of the Fairhaven neighborhood. And many members of the management team, I think there's a presentation and people have represented the management team at the proceedings downtown and generally say, what are we gonna do about this power plant after all these years? It's been dormant since 1992. There was a very famous management team meeting 25 years ago where the room exploded in anger. Were you there that day? Were you still in grade school? So were you there?
Yeah, John Martinez.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because the owners of the power plant at the time tried to reopen as a power plant, to actually run a coal-fired power plant out of the facility. And thanks to a lot of good work of the neighbors at the time, that was stopped. The plant was shuttered. UI ended up selling the plant to new owners. There was a consent order with the state of Connecticut to clean the plant up. And by and large, very little has happened since. So we're in the middle of a proceeding right now at the state level where the state is putting significant pressure on UI to clean it up, which is their responsibility. Now, the way the consent order is written is when they're done cleaning it up, it's only to commercial industrial standards. So similar to the salt piles, industrial sites. The city has come forward, the mayor, commissioner of DEEP, others, many people came forward back in July of last year to step up and say, you know what, after this many years of this mess in the neighborhood, the neighbors deserve more than just that, right? A commercial salt pile, whatever. We should engage, we should try to buy it, we should get this thing cleaned up and deliver it back to the community, and the proposal is to do that in the form of a public park. And we're in the middle of that proceeding right now. The Board of Alders Community Development Committee heard our presentation and proposal about 2 weeks ago, where we laid out what it's going to cost, which is a lot, how much it's going to cost to clean up, which is more, and then to build a park and a public pool on the site where the station is today. And I will tell you, we heard a lot of really constructive feedback. We heard a lot of anxiety. And I think all of us that have been working in this neighborhood a long time appreciate all of it, right? We take a lot of care in the work. We've delivered incredibly meaningful projects to lift this city over time. We do it in partnership. So I wanted to touch base a little bit because I think in part to demystify the anxiety, hopefully answer any questions, look for ways to partner, if you will. I think all of us have lived together in this area for a long, long time. We're going to live together for a long, long time here forward. And so, you know, the official proceedings like at the Board of Alders is very formal, right? So we speak, the Alders speak, the community speaks, then we all go home and we read about it in the paper. So I did want to come down here tonight and just talk a little bit more informally, be as transparent as we can as we were at the Alders meeting about what we're seeing and try to answer any questions that you could have because this is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint, but it's a really important journey that we've embarked on. So I'll pause there and bring any slides or anything like that, but if anyone has any questions, I know a number of you testified at the hearing the other night, so it's an opportunity to talk a little bit more about it or learn anything about the English Station project.
Questions in the room, and then we'll go back online.
Mike, I just got a quick question. You spoke to the DEEP back in when?
Oh, we've been speaking to them since 2015. at
Okay,
least.
so do you see the changes with the EPA and the DEEP as of August?
Yeah, so two things have happened that are important. I wouldn't say concerning, less concerned, just important. The first is the state has changed all of its standards related to environmental cleanup. At the hearing, we had our environmental lawyer explain why we still need a significant number of protections through state programs which we're eligible for, even with the change of programs. The related issue to that is UI's got to clean it to a standard that we can then make a park out of it. So the delta, that cost delta, we're studying now, we think it's around $5 million to bring it up, seal it, and make it safe for people to use the property. The second thing.
Mike, just 1 second. But people may not know what so delta is the difference.
Oh, I'm sorry, the
Yeah, you know, it's not a term that, so delta is the difference between industrial and, just want to make sure people understand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
The second thing, and people may have seen the news over it, is the Public Utility Regulatory Authority, PURA, had a couple of years ago assigned a penalty against UI. $2 million a year because you're not fixing this thing up. Then it was reduced to $1 million. The new PURA's changed, took the penalty away and made it zero. So that's taking a little bit of the pressure off UI to do something quickly. And, you know, I would just say that that's an important development that's happened since we presented at the CD committee. We have to factor that in.
Hold on 1 second. Is there anyone with a question online? Then we're gonna keep going here. Go ahead.
I understand though that there's a lawsuit going on between UI, and Tom, and until that's settled, I mean, it hasn't been settled as to how well it has to be cleaned yet. Is that correct?
So, Attorney General Tong represents the Department of Environmental Protection.
Yeah.
There is no dispute that the property needs to be cleaned up to an commercial industrial standard.
Yes.
The dispute is, what do we have to do with the building? And UI is saying we only have to do a light touch to the building and what they call the low occupancy standard. We can only use the building for a certain amount of hours per day. Mm-hmm. And Deep is like, no, you gotta clean the building completely. We had, when we brought Deep's officials on a call with some city alders, our city staff, we had every reason to believe that the building will be demolished. And the reason for that is it's just simply too complicated and difficult to actually clean the building to a usable standard. And that's pretty frustrating because many of us fought to save the building. This league, we have fought to save this building for many, many years. So it's a little frustrating to see that as a fact on the ground. But it was an insight that led us to think we need to deliver something that is meaningful here because we're going to lose the building.
But that process that takes so long, I mean, UI has for years not done what they should have done fully. So, I mean, how long might this drag out? I mean, that's a concern.
Yeah, I mean, I think we share it, right? Can this be dragged out further? We've talked to UI, we've talked to the state. The sense is this is the moment where we're actually going to get to closure on this project, and then there will be real impetus to finish. I say that because UI posted legally in the newspaper their intent to start remediation, so they're not going to want to start and stop. And two, the line of sight in terms of an assessment of cost is better understood, and it's a key part of the state's negotiation. Now, we're not part of that because that's going to be UI's responsibility to clean up, and it will be something higher than $30 million, which was the original estimate. But yeah, I mean, it's on our mind as well. We'd be sitting with this thing for another 5-10 years, and getting involved helps us, we believe, not have that happen and not let this drift any further.
And Mike, real quick, what does UI say about the water around the island? Is it true they've said they have no responsibility for
Oh,
that?
it's gonna be a whole other fight about the water, and it's
Oh,
frustrating, like, you know, it's not inconsistent with PCBs and other heavy contaminants in industrial cities, but expect that to be the next fight over how we get the water cleaned up. And then, worry sometimes in these conversations, I'm dating myself, but you'll remember the gas tanks over on the Chapel Street side. That property is also the responsibility of Avangrid, which is the parent of UI. And, you know, we gotta get that cleaned up, right? We got 2 or 3 of these major brownfields left in the city. And this one, you know, Carlos is here as well, I'll be honest, I did not know how many people are getting into the building illegally right now. Like, you know, it's teenagers, there's the TikTok stuff and all of this. You know, we have like the urgency of people putting themselves in real harm. Like PCBs are not to be played with. That is a real contaminant. And I think it was 16, the fire chief testified, says that 16 people have gotten into the building, running around and posting it on, you know, these videos.
So just to summarize, it's the building, what to do with it, clean it, knock it down. It's the land of the island, and it's the water that surrounds. And right now, one of those 3, we're not even in conversation yet. Right?
And then it's
Because
also-
they're basically saying, we have no responsibility for that, even though the contamination didn't come from nowhere, it came from off of that island. So anyway.
And that's only related to the physical issue. We also heard at the hearing, you know, the president of the teachers union was like, you gotta pay teachers and you wanna go build a pool and a park. And, you know, these are big decisions for the city. Like, how do we take a step forward and grow and maintain our tax base and quality of life, and at the same time take care of the day to day? And I think, you know, we all have a responsibility to be mindful of all of that. And I mentioned in the hearing, you know, like when we put Gateway Community College downtown, there were people really irate because that was non-tax pay. But Gateway really worked. Like Gateway stabilized that whole area and has allowed a lot of tax-paying stuff to happen around it. So, you know, help us navigate a lot of these really hard choices, because this is a big one for the city.
I see 3 more questions in the room. Before I take those, any questions?
Okay, there's one online as well, Lee.
Huh?
One question online as well.
Oh, go ahead, let's do the one online and then we'll come back to you all.
Oh, all right. This is from Rebecca. I'm gonna summarize, but why are we focusing so much on a new project when our existing parks and our existing, recreational spaces are being neglected? You know, why should we care about a new space when what we have isn't being maintained?
And if you could just give me 1 second, Mike, before you answer, is the 3 people that had questions, are any of you like kind of related to that? Do you need to, okay. Or go ahead, Mike, go with that one and then we'll.
Yeah, so there's a couple of thoughts on that. That's a recurring challenge of the city, like when we build new and we've got to maintain the base. There's a couple of things I think that help in this regard. The first is you see real focus from our parks department. Last summer, we were a much better place on parks than we've been in a long time. So I think our strategy is better on parks. The second is the coastal resilience factor. So this neighborhood participated in what they call Resilient Fairhaven, the study. And these are really important decisions about retreating from the water where there's high risk. That you've got these parcels that are subject to sea level rise, they're waterfront. How do we create great value around things that are just not going to be suitable to build suitable things? So that's the Long Wharf waterfront, that's the park at English Station, that's what we're trying to accomplish over on River Street. Yeah, get the point completely. I mean, my street hasn't been paved in like 20 years, and don't tell anyone I said that. But it's frustrating at times, right? You want your street paved. But we also have to remind ourselves, like, retreat is not a good example on your tax base, on growing the city, having a great vision, and we think we accomplished a lot of that with English Station.
Could we get the 3 people who have already asked to just go ahead and briefly ask your questions? Let's get all 3 questions so that maybe you can answer them interrelated. Let me go with the 2 people that haven't asked first, and then I'll come back to you. In the back there, what's your question?
My question is, like, all the New Haven independent reporting that I've seen about residents talking about being able to park camps is that no one really wants a swimming pool. And is EDA still going forward with those plans? And what are they doing with the feedback that a lot of people don't want an additional pool in,
Okay, so, hold on a second, what's your question, sir?
My question was, I remember there was 2 buildings there, but one of them got taken down. How did that process happen? And it can't happen with this new building.
And so we thought.
Hold on 1 second, let's just get the last question in. Go ahead.
My question is about eminent domain, and when does that come into play, and why do you wanna take over toxic land?
Okay, so we have those questions. Mike, we're way over time, so if you could be as brief as possible, and then we can continue after, but we have a long agenda. Go ahead, Mike.
They are all important questions, and they're longer than a quick snippet. So let's just go back in order. Many of the people here, like the comments on the pool as part of the park have come up. We believe the pool is an essential part of the component of having a city of our size. It's significant to have an outdoor pool. Many of us did not grow up with a pool for many reasons, far beyond what we could talk about today. And we could talk more about why we believe a pool is an important component to it and why we think it matters to the city going forward. Just kick it into all of that today. We fought the first building coming down, and we lost that fight. And it was just sort of a steamroll effect where the building was deteriorated, it was too contaminated, everyone signed off on it. It's likely, we think very likely, the same scenario is going to play out with English Station, and why we're trying to be more proactive than maybe we were in 2019 when that happened with us sort of being bystanders. As to the building, as to the property being contaminated, I think we can stand by our track record in this regard. This city was littered with really difficult polluted properties, right? We're down to maybe 5 or 6 really hard environmentally contaminated properties in the city. We've tackled gas stations, we've tackled old industrial buildings, we've tackled nuclear. So I think in some ways the city staff has a pretty good sense for what we're getting into in terms of the environmental contaminants. And we also recognize if we don't do anything, it's not a good public policy. Like 12 already have been in the building, there'll be another 20 that go in the building. So there is a public harm that we're, sort of observing, if you will. We gotta do this one, we have to work on the one on Chaplain East. Russell Street is a big problem for us. So I think, our city staff have always, taken a real appreciation that we've got some real technical experts on tough stuff. And so we're prepared to tackle this even though the cleanup still needs to be completed.
Okay, folks, with that, just in the interest of time, because we have a long agenda, thank you, Mike, for coming in. If someone wants a separate meeting just about this, if there's enough people that want that, we as the executive committee be happy to call and arrange for a meeting, but for now, we're gonna have to leave it. It's being discussed in the newspaper, it's being, it's out there. So later on, at least Alder Magda, I think she's gonna wanna address a little bit. I'm gonna say something in a few minutes. So with that, thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you for the time to talk a little bit about it.
Okay. So appreciate it. Don't mean to cut it off. This is an important issue. Please pay attention. But we just have a lot of stuff on our agenda. Okay, so I'm gonna put us back so we can see everybody. And we're shifting gears major here because we're gonna go now to the Fairhaven Branch Librarian. See that? Tough act to follow, difficult issue, but you've got some good news to share with us, I'm sure, because everything that happens in the library is good, so you're on.
Yes, everything that happens at the library is good. I love that. Thanks, Lee, for that introduction. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all looking forward to warmer weather. I am as well, as we are preparing for the big read. And alongside that, the book that was selected this year for the big read is The House on Mangle Street by Sandra Cisnero. And I'm hoping to put together a bilingual book club. I don't know necessarily how that's going to look yet, but please stay tuned because we're going to be meeting in May and also in June. Aside from that, I also want to give a special shout out to Music Haven for their amazing performance on Black History Celebration concert this past month. It happened this past Saturday, and there were around 90 people here. So we had a really good turnout right here in the programming room, right where you're sitting at, and they did an excellent job. So I hope that's one of many more future concerts. Also, I wanted to share with you guys that we do have tabling happening here at Fairhaven Library on a consistent basis. We usually have Eddie Cordova here from the Fairhaven Community Health Center, just tabling here, connecting with the community, sharing resources, and informing visitors about their services. He's typically here on Thursday. He was here today, so he's here every other Thursday from 12:30 to 4:30. So if you want to stop by, he usually has goodies to give out to the community, and it's just a great way to learn about services available here. We also have the New Haven Health Department, and they're usually here the second Mondays of the month from 11 to 1. And Felipe is usually here with another coworker. And then on the fourth Thursday of the month, they're also here from 1 to 3. We're also going to have Monica Montero joining us pretty soon. She's from the Connecticut Hospice, and she will be starting here on March 25th, and she'll be here from 1 to 3, typically on a Wednesday. And they have a wide range of services beyond hospice care that she wants to connect with the community about. They have palliative care. They have inpatient and home-based services. They have respite care, acute care, hospital services, etc. So come by on March 25th and say hi to Monica. Aside from that, we also have Liberty Community Services here every Monday from 10 to 2:30. You can find Anna here, people with services such as housing, employment, basic needs, benefits, eviction prevention, food resources, health services, and substance use and disorder treatments as well. So yes, every month they are here. Come by and say hi. And then we have a really exciting program coming up on Thursday, March 12th, which is next Thursday. From 3 to 5, we're going to have artist T.C. Ford. He's a local artist, and he's going to be doing an artistic caricature program. So the idea is for you to create your very own caricature portrait of yourself to be displayed here at the Fairhaven Library. Snacks and all materials will be provided. So I hope you can all make it. And then we'll have your portrait around the library, and you can come show your friends, invite your friends over to take a look at that. On a system-wide note, we have a community baby shower coming up on Wednesday, April 1st from 4 to 7. This is going to happen at the Stetson Branch Library, but everybody's invited. The entire city of New Haven is invited. They're going to have door prizes, many freebies, diaper giveaways, new parent resources, shower games, refreshments, story times, etc. And then there's going to be a raffle to win a free car seat. So please, if you guys want any information about any of the things I mentioned, you can always email me. I'm going to put my email on the chat. I think it's also on the meeting agenda as well.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Your email and your phone number.
Okay, perfect. And that's it for now. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, thank you for that.
In the room for about anything our librarian has said, any questions online? I will point out that the contact information, in addition to being on the agenda, is also up in the chat. And there was a question, do you have a newsletter? I know you have one because I get it. So tell us how people can sign up. Do they just write to you and ask you to be put on, or how do you get on the list to get the?
Yes, they will have to go on our website on the About section, and there's a place that's labeled newsletter on there, and they can sign up that way.
Excellent.
Yes. And before I forget, I also wanted to mention there's bread in the room. So if anybody wants to take bread home, please take some bread home. If you grab a couple loaves, you just put it in the oven. It's delicious bread. I had some last night. We don't want it to go bad. So Tristan, one of our staff members, he put it in the room so that you guys take some home, okay?
And if you don't need it, but know a neighbor that does, go ahead. Go ahead and take it for your neighbor. Thank you very much, Graciela. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving because our agenda is full. The next point on the agenda, so we've now concluded the section that is all the departments of the city that come and meet with us. That's the conclusion of that section. We are gonna then move on to our section, which is the sort of ongoing, and this is something, I'm not calling you out, chief, I'm calling out for your help on this. So we used to have a rep on the Civilian Review Board, J. Carter, and every quarter, pretty faithfully, he would come and tell us what's going on. A couple of us on the executive have reached out to our new rep, it's Ebony, and we have got a couple of different phone numbers. We very politely asked her if she would be willing to do that. But just short of that, if she would just even like come one time, just so we could see her face and have a face with a name, it would be helpful. So if you could help us to encourage her to come at least one time, and then we'll figure it out from there. That'd be great. Really appreciate that. Anybody have any question about the Civilian Review Board? It's very quickly, it's a board that gets to hear the complaints. They're regular citizens. They hear the complaints against the police, and they listen as independent people and provide recommendations. They don't have any real force to do, but they are an outside voice. Have I accurately represented them? Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what they do. Okay, so we're gonna move on to new business, and lo and behold, we have not one, not two, not three or four, but 5 different items under new business. The majority of them are CDBG requests. So if you are online or if you are in the room, we are really gonna hold you to 5 minutes. We're reminding you right now, tell us who you are, what your organization does, what you're asking CDBG, Community Development Grant, Block Grant money from the city for. And then the final thing we ask you to tell us is there anything other than supporting you with a letter, anything else that we can do? How can people volunteer, or how can they donate? And keep it specific to Fairhaven. Even if you work in the entire world, we are really focused on Fairhaven, okay? So we're going to start. Is that clear? Any of the presenters have any questions about that? Okay. So we are going to start with Upon This Rock Shelter, and that's going to be followed by City Seed. Okay, so Upon This Rock Shelter, are you present?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, wonderful. Ilana, I'm going to make you kind of your picture big here so we can all see you, and going to start the clock.
Absolutely.
Okay, so give me just a second. Okay, go ahead. We have 3 minutes for a presentation, 2 minutes for question and answer. Thank you.
So we have a video. Is the video playing? I can't see.
Okay. Can you play the video? That's going to take 1 of your minutes, but that's okay with us. Can you play the video, Adam? Whoops, did we lose Adam? I don't see it.
No, it's Adam Randall, Vice Chair, he's there.
Oh, okay.
Chief, did you send it in the email?
Did you send it?
Yes.
So I think Adam might be looking for it. Adam, could you let us know if you're looking for it? Okay, he might have stepped away. You need to go without it for right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
So my
hello?
name is, hello,
Sorry.
hi. You can hear me?
I've got 2 videos here. If it looks like, oh, that's the Academy. Sorry.
So the shelter is also submitted on the Academy email as well.
Let's do this. Can you run the video, Adam, or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Hold on.
Okay, let's see if you can run it for us.
Go ahead and chat for your thing.
So why
It's
go
not
ahead
loading.
and talk for about 1.5 minutes, and then we'll put the video on.
Okay, so hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Delana Lawrence. I am the Assistant Director down at 645 Grant Avenue, where we have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week shelter. We facilitate and have 75 males there. Throughout this cold winter season, we have increased our capacity to now 140 people that we are housing. We utilize our space to support our clients with case management, employment resources, By addressing this homelessness, it is a structure and a supportive way that we are helping to improve the community safety, reduce visibility of homelessness in commercial areas, create healthy environments for residents, businesses, and families in the Fairhaven Clinic. We are requesting 150,000 to expand with our case management services for individuals that is increasing throughout the Fairhaven community. So we do currently have case management, but we want to increase our capacity so that we're able to support those that are not in the shelter, that's not willing to come out in the shelter. I know that there was some talk about Chapel Street and Ferry Street with the increasingness of the homelessness. With increasing with our case management, we want to do like some outreach to be able to go out and support the community as well, to let them know what we provide to kind of decrease that. The funding will also help with the goal and investment to increase with the individuals with successfully transmitting them to shelter, permanent housing, and reducing long-term homelessness throughout the community. This letter of support will not be the only way that the team could support us. We can also help with doing some community support engagement, advocate for the homeless and housing supporting and the crisis we have in housing, as well as collaborating with partnerships, helping with donors, as well as fundraising. These partnerships can help us.
We're gonna have to leave it there if we're gonna show your video, but that
Okay.
answered all the questions. Can you run the video, Adam? Is it possible?
Yeah, I think I can mute it too because it doesn't look like there's like talking. It's just kind of like a overview of the shelter. So if you want to answer questions while I run this, that'll work.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and any questions in the room? I don't see any questions in the room. Any questions online? Unmute yourself and ask your question. I don't see any questions online. I will tell you, I have been in this building. It is amazing what they're doing there. You go and see, because it's hard to believe how that shelter has changed from what it used to be. So it just gives you a sense of what it looks like on the inside. That's my wife Sarah, the older, who's there. And they're too small, but they're testimonials of the people, if you can't read it. Great. Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any questions in the room. If you could put us back to the whole, yep, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't see any questions online. Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna have to move on. I will take, as we move on to City Seat, just remind people, all the members, if you're a voting member, tonight, you can vote yes or no by coming up and telling Christina yes, no, or abstain. And if you're online, and even if you're not, you'll get an email that will give you a link to a Google document. And on that document, you can vote yes, no, or abstain. And this is whether or not we're gonna support the project, okay? So let's move on to, the next person is from City Seed, CDBG, funding request. And that is Nassima. Go ahead, Nassima. You got
Great.
three
Hi,
minutes.
everybody. Thank you so much. I wish I could be with you in person, but it is not in the cards this evening. But thank you so much for having me tonight. I am Nassima Gilson. I am the Director of Development for City Seed. Hopefully, most of you know about City Seed, but if not, very quickly, we are a food justice organization in New Haven. We've been around since 2004. You probably know us through the farmers markets that we run throughout the city. And we also have two other programs. We have a sanctuary kitchen culinary training program, which is culinary training for refugees and immigrants. We provide professional development, stable employment at an above market wage, and we help find work for them after they graduate from our program. We also have a food business incubator program that provides wraparound support and takes barriers away for starting and sustaining food businesses. Jamil actually went through our program, so it's kind of nice to see that full circle. We are requesting about $91,000 for CDBG for two separate programs. One is for Sanctuary Kitchens, so the culinary training program. We're hoping to expand the program with continued funding. We graduated 23 individuals last year, and we already have one cohort going that's of 16 folks, and we're hoping to continue that trend of 16 per cohort. So we're looking at 32 folks each year. It's been really successful. They have internships that they get to go through all different food businesses throughout New Haven and the area. So it's been very exciting to see them working in those partnerships and getting that real world experience. The other proposal for the city is for our farmers markets. It's for doubling the dollars of the farmers market nutrition program, which is for WIC and seniors that are food insecure. So the program doubles the dollars, which means that their money goes farther. They're able to get more access to fresh and local produce. And it's been really successful. Last year, between FMMP and SNAP, we redeemed about $100,000 worth of food access benefits. So it's a really exciting time for us, but we need that support to continue to make sure that we can support everybody throughout the city. In other ways that, aside from just the letter of support, it would be really great if folks would want to volunteer. We have volunteer spots at our farmers markets and also at Sanctuary Kitchen pretty regularly. But more than that, our new building is at 162 James. And right now, it's a pretty open space. The Ely Center for Contemporary Art is on the first floor, but upstairs we have a lot of space. If anybody wants to hold community meetings there, we're happy to do that. Or if you just want to come by and see it, please email me. I'm happy to give people a tour. As Lee knows, Sarah is our executive director. So, we have deep ties to the Fairhaven neighborhood, and we're really excited to make it an activated space for the neighborhood. Happy to answer any questions, and I will also put my information in the chat in case anybody wants to reach out.
Please do, and would it be fair to say also that going to buy food at the food market is another great way, right, to support?
Sure is. Sure is. Or ordering from Sanctuary Kitchen, also a great option if you're hosting an event and you're looking for a caterer. We have a social enterprise part of Sanctuary Kitchen. So it's delicious food. If you haven't had it yet, I highly recommend it.
Great. Okay, any questions from anyone online? Any questions online about City C Sanctuary Kitchen? In the room, any questions? Okay, remember you will be voting, and thank you very much for that presentation.
Thank you.
Be right along. Now we have Upon This Rock Academy, Robin, and are you? Yeah, I see you here, Robin. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. I just will tell people what the shelter and this center have in common is the church Upon This Rock. That's why they're both called by that name. There's one church that's really making these things possible. Okay, so go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Oh, good evening, everyone. My name is Robin. I am the director at Upon This Rock Academy. We are a child care center. We service children from 2 and 8 months all the way up to 13. We have full-time for preschool, we homeschool, and we do before and after care for children. They get on the bus and off the bus from our center. We are located at 900 Grand Avenue. What we want to do that falls in alignment with the community, Fairhaven community, is we are looking to restore and renovate the Quinnipiac STEM School. What we are looking to do is to move our childcare into there and expand it, as well as take half of the building for a women and children's shelter, providing on-site one-stop shops right there in site, partnershiping with other partners in our community that will bring resources such as job searches, food and nutrition. On site, they'll be able to bring their children right over and go to childcare. Parents will be able to get workforce help. So we kind of want to build that whole serene place and just make it a one-stop shop for all of our families to be able to be at. Our ask was for 200,000. The 200,000 will go towards the renovation of the space. As you've seen with the shelter, and we also have a video. As you've seen with the shelter, as well as our new space at 900 Grand Avenue, we are not new to renovating spaces and just brightening and bringing our community alive, allowing people to have a beautiful space to stay and be. And that's why we really want to go after Quinnipiac. It's such a beautiful location right on the water, and just bringing people in and giving them something fresh and new, as well as bringing all the resources that we have. We look to partner with many people outside of the letter of support. A lot of things that we can take on as donations, whether it be supplies, snacks, healthy snacks. We love to partner with other people in collaboration with other partners in the community that can be a help to our children. We are geared to helping our youth. We love what we do. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, that was concise and really touched all the bases. Any questions online or
We do have a video if it's able to be
yes,
played.
okay.
I did have the kids. I know he said he would mute it, but at the end we just wanted to show our center. This is our child care. These are our preschool classrooms, and you'll also see our homeschooling classroom where we have kids that are homeschooled. This is our homeschooling center. Children are homeschooled there. Our kindergarten classroom for our students. This is a graduation of when we had our kids graduate last year. Reading is our thing. We love to do it. And this is some of our beautiful children in our community that have been with us since they were young, which are grown with us. And you can't hear, but they're saying thank you in the video. They're waving their hands and they're giving thank you to everybody just for hearing us out and for all the help and support.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to be able to see everybody. So any questions online? Any questions in the room? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
And I'll also drop our website if you guys wanted to look up there. You can find us in the shelter up there.
Contact information that you put any nonprofit puts in the chat, we'll then make sure it gets in the minutes. Okay. So we appreciate that. Okay, moving right on, Parent Ambassadors Program, Sharon.
Yeah, and Isabel.
No. So I think it's best if you guys stand over there, because then they'll see you from the camera from both sides.
I have a slideshow.
I don't know how you're gonna.
Did you send it?
Yes.
Did you send it? Yeah, you would stand over there.
Okay. It'll be up there.
Adam, do you have a slideshow for them? Why don't you guys introduce yourselves while she
Sure.
sets it up?
Hi, I'm Sharon Glassburn, and I am with Parents Connecting Parents. Can you hear me in the back?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hi, my name is Isabel Rivera, also one of the parent ambassadors with the New Haven Early Childhood Collaborative. Yeah, we both are Fairhaven residents. We both have children in the schools in Fairhaven, and we are, like you said, under the New Haven Early Childhood Collaborative, which is housed under United Way on James Street. So, this side. All right, well, I didn't prepare with outside, so I'm just gonna say a bunch of stuff and hopefully it makes sense. Our mission is mostly, well, there it is, okay. You can go ahead and skip it.
Go ahead, next slide. Okay, are you gonna just narrate what?
Yeah, so what are parent ambassadors, which is what we are for New Haven specifically. Can you go up one?
Back one, yeah.
Back one. So we have a team of, I think we're 9 right now. And we're in all different parts of the city. We're community members with young children who work to educate other parents about the resources and opportunities available to them. You can go to the next slide. Our mission is to make sure that families who are not connected with early childhood education have information and access to resources and support to help their children thrive. So a lot of families for many, many reasons, don't have their children in early care. And we ourselves, we learned about a lot of resources available through our parenting communities, through our children's school. And so one of our goals is to make sure that parents who do not have their children in early care know about the opportunities that are available to them throughout the city. This is our, this is where we have the most funding. As you can see, Fairhaven, I mean, maybe you can't see it because it's a tiny image, but Fairhaven is like pretty well represented in terms of where we're trying to support. And that's a map of where, for many, many reasons, people are not enrolling their children in early care. There's a gap.
There is also very important for us, part of the goal is that to get the children to daycare, because a lot of the kids are having problems when they go to kindergarten. And the reason they want us to work a little bit more focused on that, and all of these problems, now they want to get the kids to be 5 years old going to kindergarten because of these problems. Children are not keeping up with the curriculum, and it's holding them back a little bit more than others who do go to early learning.
Right, exactly. And so even if not through creating that bridge for kids to enroll in care, it's also just providing information about like enrichment opportunities, events, places where parents can build community and just like advocate for their children's needs. We are housed in the state by the Office of Early Childhood. So we're hoping to increase enrollment in their programs. These are our goals. Increase the percentage of children who attend preschool before enrolling in kindergarten because those gaps are very evident. Promote the importance of early childhood education for children, and through democratic governance, learn about the needs of families and communities and the best ways to connect with them. So we don't want to build programs without directly talking to parents of young children.
Another 30 seconds, so your question.
All right, we can skip that.
Yeah, you can skip that one and that one too.
Here's some pictures of us amplifying children work. Here are some examples of programs. I'll just go ahead, I want you to walk away and feel like you also have some resources that you can talk about. These are some of the programs we bridge and recommend throughout New Haven, throughout the state. There's Birth to 3, Care for Kids, Home Visitation, Sparkler, which we'll talk about in a second, Child Care, Community Navigators, which is like the friendly face of 211, Pre-K and Preschool, and you can go ahead and go to the next slide.
Remember, tell us the amount and what it's for. The amount you're asking for and what it's for.
Oh, we're not.
No, they're not doing a request,
Oh,
they're just
I'm
informing.
I mean, you can give us.
No.
Wait, that's okay.
It's because we had so many, he didn't know.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
good. Go ahead and wrap up.
Okay, fair enough. These are two of the resources that we like to tell people about. So feel free to use the QR code. We'll also hopefully have it available. So Sparkler is an app-based program for parents with young children. It is a developmental screening tool. And so if you don't have a child in early care, even if you do, you can see if your kid is meeting some common milestones for their age. We're not necessarily invested in anybody being normal. It's just to see if they're like, because if you don't have a kid in school, you can't necessarily see the same comparisons. It can also be used just for enrichment, like activities to do with your kiddo. There's lots of stuff on the app. It starts with this mental health and wellness app for parents, which is really, really important. It's one of my hot button topics. And I think the rest of that is Q&A.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pull
Here's our
that down.
contact info.
And we're gonna have to ask quickly, are there any questions anyone has? Online in the room. I will tell you, I work at the Community Foundation. We fund or could fund any one of these that are asking for CDBG, and we do fund the Early Childhood Collaborative through the statewide network of funders.
Cool.
This is really important work. Okay, not just if you're a parent, it's really important work for our society that kids get started right. So that then when Magda gets them in high school, they're better, right? They're better if they get an early childhood education. I don't see any questions online. Any questions?
One quick one, Lee, about it,
That one and then
the
Rob.
Spanish language with this. Is this, yeah.
We do. I am bilingual, so there is a couple of people who also speak Spanish in the program. So yes, and all our pamphlets and brochures are in English and Spanish, but we also have Mandarin, Arabic, and French. Nice.
Excellent. A question in the back?
So anybody who has kids could enroll, or how does it work? You have to go like through Care for Kids and stuff like
We're
that?
community based, we're just people, so we're parent ambassadors, we are really responsive and available and excited, and we are just there to answer questions, bridge folks to services. We also show up at a lot of community-based events. Also, if any of you work for organizations that support parents and you'd like us to come and facilitate, we've been doing some dine and discuss, which is just like a supportive, facilitated conversation around themes that people are interested in or needing support around. And we provide childcare, we provide dinner when we're facilitating those meetings, which is one of our favorite things to do. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. A lot of the things that we do, it's we share the resource and information available to the community. There's a lot of information there that a lot of people don't know where to go or how to get it, and we can share that information with them. That is one of the main goals, to get that information out in the community so people can start using all these services, and they can also start reaching to us if they need a little bit of extra help.
A lot of it is free.
Yes.
And there are some swag bags that have some materials, some fun stuff, but mostly informational.
Yes, and our flyer is also over there.
Feel free to stick around in case people have questions, but we're just going to move on in
Yes,
these
sure.
different times.
Thank you so
Thank you very much. So I apologize. I was on a roll and didn't realize that we'd moved on from CDBG. We have one more presentation from Parks and People Engagement, Christopher, but if you could hold on just 1 second, Christopher. Adam, can you come on and just tell people what the process is for voting for not this last one, but all the other ones before this last one?
Right. So yeah, we had 3 different CDGB letters of support requests. If you are a voting member, and I think there's 39 of us right now, you can go at the link I'm going to put in the chat. It'll also be in the minutes and the email that comes out after. If you're in person, you can tell your votes to Christina. Please keep in mind that it's hard to remember that there's 2 Upon This Rocks. So the Upon This Rock Shelter and the Upon This Rock Academy are 2 separate votes. So I underlined it. So the votes in order are the shelter, the city seed, and Upon This Rock Academy. So any voting member, please just submit it through the link or tell Christina before you leave tonight. And we need votes on all 3 of those, or you can abstain on any particular one, but yeah. And I'm going to put the link in the chat right now, and I think that's it. You've done this before, probably.
Perfect. Thank you. Just remind people, our vote does not, you don't have to pick like, oh, I want this more than that. You can vote for everything you want for our community, because what we're doing is we're just affirming to the board. They came to us, that we know what they're doing and why they're doing it, what they're asking for money for. So feel free to vote. I would encourage everyone to vote for all 3 in the affirmative, just to be clear, so that you're not thinking, oh, if I give money to this, then you're not giving the money. The Board of Alders handles that part, okay? Any questions about that before we move on to the final presentation in this category? Christopher, Parks and People Engagement, 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, he's right there. Okay, stand right there.
Yeah, I passed out a bunch of flyers. I have a slideshow too. It's not too, it's like 3 or 4 or 5 slides. You know, to the.
Can you put that on, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you start introducing yourself and talking a little bit, and then
So my
maybe-
name is Christopher Bresky. Hi, I'm with New Haven Parks. I can't tell you anything about the power plant. My apologies, I'm new. That's just gonna be my answer. But as Piscatelli said, I'm on as of like a year, and we have a new parks director, and a lot of things are changing with the parks. And with that, we're having a new strategic plan, which is like 20 years since we had our last one, so it was about time, I think, right? So that's the QR codes that is in the slide, also that you have. It's our last week. We've been doing this for the last 6 months or so. Community engagement. Thank you, CDC, for having us. Tabling at the farmers market. We've been around town going to, and thank you, Fairhaven Library. Gabriela Rivera had us here at the Stay and Play with early childhood audiences. We've been finding different creative ways to engage with the public, but also coming to community management meetings as well. We have surveys. Our 2 asks are, there's a survey. We'd love for you to share it with those you know. Also answer any of it. My apologies. There's a bunch on there. That's another note that we've gotten, and
anything you want to point out in your slide presentation, real quick?
Absolutely. That is, I don't have my glasses on me, so I'm going to go up here and check it
Watch out for the wire there.
This is just the name of the strategic plan.
Next slide.
Are there any ways to make these bigger? Thank you so much. Great. Then you can you do full screen presentation with us?
Is it a Google Doc?
I mean, this is all I can do because the slides are across 2 different slides for some reason. So
Fascinating. All right, cool. Well, I mean, we're asking questions to the public about how you want to use your parks and how we can utilize funds, and we're doing that in listening sessions, and we're also doing that in what are called community design sprints. One which is happening in this room a week from today, at this exact same time, 6 to 8 p.m. next week. It's a community design sprint. Well, we did one in the West River community about a month ago, and it's hands-on. You know your neighborhood, you know your neighborhood park better than anybody else. We come together, table together. A community design sprint is basically a solutions-based way of problem solving, where I see a need, I see a programmatic need, I see a space-based use need, and I have that information because I live in that area. We come together. And the design idea is, if you have $5,000 for your neighborhood park, what would you create? What could you change? What would you shape? And it being solutions-based, we've gotten a lot of great feedback that the Parks Department can act on. And so that's our initiative right now. Like I said, it's been going on for about 6 months. There's also one more Parks Commission meeting that's going to be on the 18th of March at 5:30 at 720 Edgewood. But the 2 big asks are, if you can come to the design sprint next week, it's a lot of fun. It's just a great way to meet the neighbors, but also have a solutions-based way of getting something done in your park. And then if you can, I know surveys are real fun, but the voice on them, and it's a great way to actually get some real movement in places that are in your neighborhood. So,
great. Any questions in the room? We can take the slide presentation down. Any questions online? I will recognize that Marianne Moran, who's right there at the top there, she's a park commissioner. So in addition to staff, we also have one of the park commissioners, a volunteer, is our neighbor. Question in the back, or? No?
Saying hello.
Oh, you're saying hello? Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. Let's make sure.
Our friends online, can they see the QR code and for the surveys or the date?
We will put it in the minutes. What you should do is probably, Adam, is there any chance you could go on through the QR code and get the actual link, if it's not up there already, and then make quick look. I'll have the link in the chat.
So yeah, I'll try and get that, but here it's up for anyone that wants to take a picture with their phone real quick.
Anyone who wants to get it right now.
They have the physical copy. I'm just saying, anybody online.
Okay. Oh, it's for the people online, because here we have a physical copy.
Give them a second. If they have their phones, they could see it right now. They could take it. You can't take it away. Share your screen. Give them
okay.
And then anyone that's interested can. Yeah, we're confusing you. So then that way, if you're at home, just take a picture of that QR code with your phone, and
the QR code on top is for the design sprint RSVP, and the one below you can keep it steady.
Yeah, right there.
And then the ones below are for the surveys.
Okay?
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you
be
very
around for any
much.
questions. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
appreciate it.
Yep, thank
Okay, thank you. Adam, really appreciate it. I know we're making you work here. Okay, so that concludes this section of the agenda, which is basically the new business. I do want to just, before we move on to the next section, just acknowledge something that got passed over very quickly. When the shooting happened on Grand Avenue, Sarge mentioned that he and Magda went business to business. And that's really important because no one wants to be where there's danger, right? But the danger has passed. And the question is, what's gonna happen after that dangerous incident? The businesses, most of the owners do not live in our neighborhood, but they serve us. They make it possible for us to eat out and get our hair cut and so on and so forth. If you're a regular at these businesses, or even if you're not, just particularly the businesses around LCOP and around there, I'll tell you as an example, my wife and I, we just went around and we just asked people, hey, how you doing, and so on. Just acknowledge that humanity, and let's remind each other that we are safer and we're better together, both the people who do business here and those of us who live here. We want to make sure that we keep all the barbershops, all the businesses, everything that we want, all the dry cleaners. And so I commend Magda for doing that, and the sergeant, and let's just kind of keep that in mind. Do what you can, when you can, as best you can. And then when you can do more than that, then you do that. But whatever you can do, I'm not asking you to go any further than you feel comfortable going, but just want to acknowledge that. So thank you. Okay, so we're now moving on to the executive board meeting report. And the only item is, in fact, Fairhaven. And so I just want to say, everyone that gets our minutes, everyone that gets information knows that I wrote to you all. I told you all that we were going to go, that I was going to go personally and testify, which I did do. And I testified that I don't think we should do a park and swimming pool on English Station. I did that because I've been working on this for 25 years. I became involved with the project in actually more, it's 1999, around stopping the station from opening up as a power station. And I am very concerned about the pollution and the history that there is of what happens where black and brown people live. I also get that a swimming pool would be totally cool. I have about 6 places that in our community where I think we could put up a swimming pool. So point is, we're not all in agreement about this. Doesn't mean we can't get there, but we are not now. And so I just wanted to say that. If you want to know more about what my position is, why I take it, what the science behind it is, what all that stuff, you can read what I sent to the management team. You can read my op-ed in the New Haven Independent. I'm always happy to talk to people. Following that meeting, I spoke with Magda. When the alders speak, she may want to say something about this. We've talked. I reached out to our city director of health regarding her involvement. I did not reach out to anyone from the police department because I see them all the time. And so anyway, just want to say that. But we did write something that we clearly said, thank you, Adam, for making the suggestion. This was a statement from me to you all as my neighbors, and that's all it was. We took no official stand on that as a group. Okay? So that's the only thing I have to report in terms of the executive committee meeting, and I'll remind people that the reason why we do this segment is because every once in a while something's going to happen that requires some sort of action or reaction before the next meeting. And in that space, the executive committee discusses it, and if it requires some sort of public support, we must be in 100% agreement, all of us, or we don't move forward. And in this particular case, there was nothing to do except testify, and that's what I went and did, having informed you all. I thank everyone that wrote from the community, no matter which side you were on, and I thank everyone who came out It's very important that we show up for these things, just like it's important that we show up for the parks meeting, because to the point of the gentleman that was speaking before from the Parks Department, I've been in New Haven since 1983. I remember Bob Levine, 22 years as the Parks Department head, and he watched that department shrink and shrink and shrink, and after he retired, it kept shrinking, and guess what? Finally now, it's beginning to expand. They're beginning to have a vision under the new director and some new staff, and hats off for that. Let's keep that going. And again, anyone want to know anything more about English Station? Not a debate, just stating this side and that side, but happy to continue the conversation if people want to do that. Any questions about anything that I've said online, in the room? Okay. There we go. Okay, announcements. Anyone want to make an announcement regarding Fairhaven Day? Anyone have information? So I'm not the, well, I know a little bit, but is there anyone from the committee that's here? Anna is not. Anna, you want to say something, Anna?
Yeah, I am here. But I believe Alder Dente was also going to address it, so I wanted to leave it up to him.
Oh, okay, so okay, fine. It'll go under the Alder report. Okay, thank you, Anna. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and go into our final section, which is every Alder gets an opportunity to say something. We've been here a long time. We've discussed a bunch of stuff. I'm only going to ask the Alders if you're going to mention something and someone else has mentioned it, just add new information. Don't repeat the same, just so that we can kind of keep you short, because there's a good, luckily we have a lot of Alders, okay? So we do not have Alder Mandy and Martin.
Lee, don't forget, you said you're going to go backwards this time.
Oh, yes, good, thank you. We always go in number order. This time we're going to go backwards just to give a difference. So that unfortunately means, Magda, that you're up first. If you want to come on up here and go ahead and whatever report, whatever information you want to give. If you stand there, more people will see you.
Okay.
I mean, you're welcome to stand. I'm not trying to hog the podium. It's just more people will see you.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to let you guys know that we're gonna be holding a lot of budget meetings. So if anybody wants to come out to the public hearings, there'll be public hearing workshops as well. So on March 19th, March 31st, April 23rd, April 28th, and 29th, May 11th, and May 14th, and they're all gonna be held at 6 p.m. and I can give you the list if you'd like to post it, Lee. But also, if there are any sites that you're seeing that there's a lot of dumping or a lot of issues happening, please make sure that you're calling and you're letting us know. We get hard at work. The See-Click Fix is a big deal, and it's something that you can make good use of. If you're seeing something, please make sure that you're using See-Click Fix. It's really helpful to everyone, and it's helpful to all of us while we're trying to address issues that are happening in the neighborhood. And we have quite a few dumping sites. I know we've been working hard at that as well. And of course, I'd like to just address the English Station. It was a very difficult decision that I had to make. Really, a lot of the presenters, it was pretty much split in who wanted to move forward and who didn't as far as a pool goes. But what was on the table was not the pool. And I think that was made very clear to me coming in, that what we were deciding on was either acquiring the property through purchase or eminent domain. And so I know that a lot of people came, and it's the pool, and we're talking a lot about the pool and the park, but really what was on the table and what I was voting for had to do with the acquisition. It's been closed since 1992. I grew up in Fairhaven. It was a long fight to shut it down. It did a lot of damage to our communities for a really, really long time. And I just felt it was time for us to begin to move forward in the process of trying to acquire the property and to ensure that it belonged to the city and that it did not go somewhere else. And that was a difficult decision to make. That was not an easy decision. It was not something that came lightly. And I did consider everyone's input. Many people contacted me, sent texts, calls. A lot of you a lot of you that are here sat at the public hearings. And believe me, you were heard. It was just a really difficult decision. And I really felt it was time to begin the process. That's going to be a very long process of acquiring the property to begin with.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions for Alder Vidal? I do see a hand up. Anna has her hand up. And then here. Anna, you want to go ahead? Or was I imagining that? No,
Yeah, I'm
go ahead,
here.
Anna.
Okay. Yeah, Alder Natal. My first question is, was your decision based on what your constituents requested or the conversations you had with them? Or did you make up your mind right there at that meeting?
No, this is I grew up in Fairhaven. So it's not something that I was around when it was polluting Fairhaven, right? When the fight with UI to shut down. Like I've spent my life on and off in Fairhaven, right? So I've been a part of seeing where we are today, but it had a lot to do with constituents, public hearing. It's not a decision that I made based on, I'm gonna walk in and I'm just gonna decide for myself. It was a very difficult decision. It was not an easy decision to make.
Yeah, I think that was part of my question. So, did you make that decision based on the meeting or what the majority of your constituents had
I would
requested?
say constituents and the public hearing.
Okay. Now I know that the pool wasn't what was up for discussion, but um, can you let me know it for the eminent domain for attaining that property? Once you attain that property, are you not supposed to build what you are your reasoning for obtaining the property? So in the end, doesn't it become again about what's going to be built there? Your reasoning for taking that
If it is
property?
taken through eminent domain, that doesn't mean there has to be a pool there. But if it's taken through eminent domain, it does have to be a park.
We're gonna have to leave it there. Anna, let's keep the conversation going, but we just can't keep it up. One more question and then.
David Perry, as far as the hot spots for the illegal dumping, I work for Public Works, and we constantly go and we clean up over and over and over, specifically on Lloyd and Wolcott. They put like a whole house out there like 2 days ago, like I cleaned it up. Would the city be able to put cameras at these hot spots so we can shut most of that stuff
And
down?
so that's a discussion that we've had, right? And I don't know if I know Sergeant Alvarado, you're here in the room, if that's something that you could address better than I could. It is a really complicated thing because it would be a process. And there are quite a few hotspots that we have mentioned, right? Like,
Yes.
let's just put a camera and let's see if we can, track folks in that way and solve the problem.
Folks, it's 20 of 8, library closes at 8, so if we could just, if something could be said very briefly, because we've got a bunch of other.
Yeah, we're working on the cameras.
We're working on
Cameras, especially that specific, that intersection's been out of control. My guys are on it, like Public Works is on it, and LCI, the code enforcement, Melanie Jesus from Public Works has been great.
Remember, you all have the phone numbers of all these people. Call them up, engage them. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to cut it off because we can come back at the end if there's time. I just want to give time for all the alders. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ryan. Alder Frank Redente, you're online, please.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank Mr. Piscatelli and his staff for all the work they've done on that Ball Island project. Those of you that don't know, I was the one no vote against English Station. I have also lived in Fairhaven my whole life. But you guys know, those of you that know me know I communicate well with people in my community. We have text strands and phone conversations about just about every item. And I attended a majority of the meetings regarding English Station, not all, but a majority of. And what I saw was people were overwhelmingly not only against it, but not asking for a park there. And I'll repeat what I said in the meeting. I'm not against the park there. I actually really like the vision of Mr. Piscatelli and his team of the new Mill River neighborhood where the salt piles are. And, you know, maybe a park extending to a nice neighborhood would be nice. I am firmly against the pool, seeing that we don't really have a good track record of taking care of what we have. There was also the funding gap. There was some, for me, there was a lot of what ifs in that project. If you want to talk about it more, my number's in the chat. Feel free to call me. Again, you know me, I answer the phone. So I would love to talk about it. There's many reasons why I said no. It's not that I wouldn't support it in the future, but at this point, it's a no for me. But I don't want to keep the meeting any longer. I do have some updates from both myself and Alder Miller. I know that Alder Natal had talked about the budget workshops already. We do have a detailed list of all the departments and on what night they will be presenting. So please let us know if there's a specific department that you want to know about. Moving on to snow issues. Right now, I'm trying to look at my other screen. They are still in the middle of the snow hearing. It's pretty heated, as it should be. My biggest complaint is I feel like the city has become the boy who cries wolf when it comes to storms. We hear, we're going to tag and tow cars, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then nothing happens. I have not seen a car tagged and towed in Ward 15 in my tenure, though I've asked for them to be tagged and towed. We still have cars encased in snow from the first storm that we haven't been able to move. So, just know that we're fighting the same fight that you guys are fighting. And we're trying to figure it all out. We did get a lot of snow. We did get back-to-back storms, but it's unacceptable that it still hasn't been removed. And it's almost like we're waiting for it to melt. I mean, I texted Alder Smith a little while ago while she's in the hearing and told her that I think they should still be out there clearing snow. And why do we not have crews out there doing it? So there's a lot of questions that are unanswered, and hopefully they'll be answered in that hearing tonight. And again, you have my number if you want to discuss that. As far as English Station, we want to know how you feel. So please call us, let us know. We had a cleanup scheduled for Chatham Park, scheduled for this coming weekend. It doesn't look like it's going to happen because there's still snow on the ground. So I'll keep you in the loop. That'll be in coordination with the Flynn project. I'm sure Sergeant Alvarado will come out. He's always a steady hand with us. I got a lot of calls about seniors and people with physical limitations having issues with snow during the storm. And I've been asked for volunteers to set up a similar model to what Alder Smith is doing in East Rock. Unfortunately, I have a pretty nasty back injury, and I can't shovel snow, so I'm relying on others as well. So if you're interested in volunteering, please send me your information. Sally Esposito and myself are going to set up a list of seniors and people with physical limitations that need some help with snow, mainly just, steps and sidewalks. I'd also like to replicate that throughout the year, just on yard projects and stuff. I have a number of folks who have unable to care for their yards anymore, especially backyards. So I want to try to put together something like we do with the cleanups, get people over there with their own power tools and stuff, because a lot of my seniors in my ward, especially, I have people who have a lot of brush that they can't get out there and trim anymore, and finances are tight, you can't afford a landscaper. So please, if anybody's interested in volunteer, please let me know.
Thank you.
I am also, we're also looking for volunteers for Fairhaven Day, which is May 2nd. It's become a huge event here in Fairhaven. We're also doing a wrestling show that night to raise money to support PAL. All proceeds from the wrestling show will go to the Police Activity Fund. Two other things. On Wednesday of next week, Alder Smith and myself will be holding a workshop with the Youth Committee on youth sports and recreation and how that's changed in the city over last decades and its relation to kids not having anything to do, youth violence, and all kinds of things. If you're interested in that topic, please swing by the chamber on Wednesday, 6 o'clock, or tune in via YouTube. And last but not least, I'm going to try my second attempt at new parking legislation. As you know, during this storm, first off, we don't have a tow contract, so cars weren't getting towed. But we have a lot of abandoned cars just sitting around, sometimes for months and even years in some places. The first time I submitted this legislation in front of the legislation committee, it was rejected due to clarity around what constitutes an abandoned vehicle. I've been working really hard with my legislative assistant and going back to state statute. We will have something soon on what constitutes an abandoned vehicle, and we will be trying to get those abandoned vehicles off the road within 24 hours. With that, I have nothing else. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Any questions in the room? Any questions online? Please, you have the phone numbers, okay, of the folks. We just have a couple more alders and then we're done. So Frank mentioned Alder Miller. She was going to be here. He spoke about her report. 6 Sun Home. Anna Festa's not here. Carolyn Tandy Smith submitted a report. It just mentions the whole snow thing that Frankie just talked about. So we're not going to, but she's on that. And what Frankie was making reference to is the fact that there's about 30 people in East Rock that go around and do people's houses, not because they're too lazy to do it, but because they're elderly or disabled or something like that. That's what he's talking about, putting a thing like that together. That's what Carolyn mentioned in her report. And then we also do not have a report from Mandy. That's all of our alders. And again, if you are represented by one of the alders that's not here, please go ahead and contact them and encourage them to come. We have some that are very, very faithful to us. With that, any announcements that anyone has about anything that has not been mentioned? Just like 1 minute or less. Any announcements? Anything online? I see. Oh, no.
Jeff Simon.
Oh, yes, that's right, Jeff. Come on in
I'm
real quick.
gonna make this real quick to the finish line here. Hometown Recycling Day. Most of you know it, so I'm not even going to explain it, but I'll put some stuff in the chat. Hometown Recycling Day is going to be at IKEA on May 2nd from 10 to 1. So come on down, bring your unwanted big box recycling items that you can't get rid of in your blue bin, and we'll be happy to take them. And once again, I'll put the rest of that in the chat, so we'll make this painless.
And that will in fact go out with our minutes. Don't forget there's a separate email that's about voting. With that, I see some thumbs up, but I don't see any questions. Can I have a motion to end this meeting? Move. Second. I see a second. We don't need to vote on it. Thank you very much for your patience online, in the room. Stay, talk with each other, but at 8 o'clock, we have to be out of the building. So we'll start here and finish outside and not get cold. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Don't forget to take bread, please.
I want to let you know, I'm waiting for that.
Jeff, I'm waiting for you to get your info in the chat, and then I'll shut down the meeting after that.
Trying.
There we go.
Okay, hold on a second.
All right. So we got the info now, and have a good night, everyone.